And then I wanted to show you my eye collection because I told you I was going to show it to you in the last video, and I didn't. So I'm going to give you a tour. I am terrible at introductions, but if you haven't met me, my name's Mariah. This is my channel, Story for Me, and today I'm going to do another WIP Wednesday like the last video. The goal today is to get a bunch of stuff done, and I noticed that last week I was much more accountable to the things I wanted to get done since I recorded it. I know I've been a little bit off, but I wanted to make sure that I have like a couple of videos recorded. There's a bunch of footage that I can't use, it's fine. But I wanted to work through my to-do list today. I have a tutoring appointment at 4:30, but I want to run some errands before then and get a whole bunch of stuff done. So while I'm running out of space on my phone, goal, take some of the footage off my phone and put it on my computer. Then I'm going to go to the store for light bulbs and maybe a couple other things. I am going to go to the Joann in a different city. It's not too far from here. Go check out what they have. Make sure my car has gas and is washed. And then when I get back, writing down the notes for my tutoring session tonight. Getting the last bits of the invoice done after my tutoring session and sending that out. And then I have a whole bunch of project WIPs that I need to put together. And that is the sum of what I'm going to do. I'm going to clean up a little bit. I did a lot of spring cleaning because the beginning of the week was a little hard for me. But that being said, I'm going to take a little bit more control back and do all of that stuff. Hopefully, when I move my car today, nobody takes my spot, because that was the whole thing. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and move the footage off of this phone. I just wanted to do a little intro. I never do an intro, so I figured this would be a good intro for the video, and then we can go check out Joann, both of them. We can run the errands, and I'll be back. So I just went to Joann and I found a box of about probably 70 skeins of white baby bear, but it feels like the texture of Posh. So that was really nice, and it's $4.99 because they went to 50% off. So I got some for me, and I think a couple of my friends might want some, so I got a little bit extra. from the distance, this one looked good, but then you feel it, and it's like this weird texture that kind of feels wet, and I don't like it. Looking for this one for a project. Not a project, but a client. Need the red one of this. These are really expensive. I don't love them, but it lasts for a while because I only use it for like small amounts. Alright, so I did a lot of running around. I have 2.5 hours until I have my student appointment, so I'm prepping my dinner right now. I went to Joann, found a bunch of yarn. I left without that much yarn. I got some. Just the white baby bear that was like very much posh-like. There was some other baby bear there, and then I needed HTV for a glove order that I have where I'm going to like, basically I make hammer gloves, and on top of the glove I'm going to imprint the logo, and I use heat transfer vinyl and my Cricut to cut out the school logo and then like do the layers. So I needed electric red and electric blue, but I couldn't find electric red. I found another metallic red, so I'm going to see what that looks like on top of the other one, but not sure how that's going to turn out. We'll see. But while that's going on, decided to prep dinner. Tomorrow I'm going to stop by and go visit my mentor, and then drop him off some stuff. I was going to drop him off some eggs and some honey, because we are harvesting honey right now. But kind of just taking some time to take care of myself, because a lot's going on right now. And part of the reason why I haven't been posting, but another part is just I'm tired and I'm burnt out. I've been going non-stop since like 2023, and I've started to slow down, but I need like a solid month of just being able to just relax and not have lots of orders or students every night or things like that. Like just being able to like physically recoup, because I am bordering on burnout. And I know it's fine for now, but I'm trying to take those moments to like give myself some stuff. So I'm gonna look into like what I can be doing to get myself better. Part of it is like cleaning up my environment. So this week I cleaned a lot. This is me just venting at this point. But yeah, it'll be fine. I'm gonna be okay. I just need a break, and I don't know that if I do too much summer tutoring. Also, the other kicker here is that my most difficult student, who is genetically related to me, my brother, starts 2 classes in the fall, which she is not a self-starter, so it's a lot of like babying him through classes, and I'll have that along with students who need help with calculus, all the plethora of things. So if you don't know me, it's really weird. I work for myself. I run 2 businesses from home, and I am a part-time contractor. So in making the hammer gloves and educational resources, I actually started out my degree in chemical engineering. So my specialty is STEM education, and I work with students of all types, but I was later diagnosed with ADHD, and I learned that as I was, you know, um, as I was going through school, I had developed strategies for learning and things like that with ADHD that a lot of people don't put into practice. Things like mind mapping and such, that helps all students, not just ADHD students. And then especially trying to make sure that marginalized communities in STEM actually can get access to that information and those classes and that coursework and like the fundamentals of understanding it without that extra layer of bias. So oftentimes when I was in classes, especially physics for me, I couldn't ask for help because my professors would make it seem like if I asked a question that I am just one, genetically inferior, because or two, women can't be in STEM. So I had those two things fighting against me. And one of the families I work with, when I started out, I remember talking with them and was like, well, I know this is a dumb question. And I had to stop her and tell her, it's not a dumb question when you don't know. Like, this is not a class that you grow up and out of the womb you know it. The only reason why I know it is because I studied it. And so I want us to get rid of the idea that there's a stupid question or that you're supposed to know it. Even if we've gone over it 6 times, I obviously haven't explained it well enough for you. So that's a me problem, not a you problem. Your questions are valid, and we need to create spaces for you to ask those questions so that you can put it in your mind map and you can learn it and engage with the content without feeling ashamed of not knowing it at first. And that is like a big problem with like academia. I love academics, I love learning, but when I thought about going back for my master's degree, I couldn't see myself being in those spaces again, because whether I like it or not, those spaces really broke me, and I don't know how I could go back into those spaces and pretend like I don't have a weird, estranged relationship with it. So, anyway, that's my little rant. That's a little bit about me. We'll see. I'll take a picture of my food later. But it's gonna need some time to stew and stuff like that. So I figured I'd put it on so that it can be rich in flavor when I get to it. So I went ahead and finished prepping dinner. I had the rice on, the gumbo basically together. It just has to cook down. And then I'll add the shrimp after my appointment. And then I got a few other cleaning things done. So my goal now is to, typically, it depends on the student. This student typically gets help right after school. So I'll log in to her schoolwork and look at what her teacher has been giving her. I like to base all of my lesson planning and talking off of what they're learning, because it's not helpful, especially for certain sciences, to teach based off of what you think they would be covering versus what they're actually covering. So with physics, I need a little bit more help. It wasn't my best subject. She's doing really well in the class right now, which I'm thankful for, but it takes me prepping earlier. So last night after my meeting, I did some research, but this wasn't live until today. So I have a meeting with them in an hour, and so I'm going to go ahead and take down notes, start writing out notes for our session tonight, and then our session will roll straight after that. And then when I'm done with that, I can give you my to work on lists for the plushies, because I have a lot of WIPs, and we know I love to have a whole bunch of WIPs. I have like 8 or 9 bodies. So that being said, I also need to record an outro for my next video, which will be coming out sometime this week. Last Wednesday I did a WIP Wednesday, and I felt really good about doing the WIP Wednesday. So I think I'm going to start recording on Wednesdays, just like to give myself one day of being productive, because when I'm recording on my phone, I'm not on it doing things. I'm actually like recording and like getting things done. So for today, I'm going to get this done, and then after my session, the series of events will be that I put the shrimp into the gumbo. Well, first I'll send the invoice, then I'll put the shrimp in the gumbo. I'll get a couple of house things like throwing out the trash, things like that done. And then I'll get comfy, show you guys the WIPs that I'm working on, and then by the end of the night, show you any progress that I've made on all of my little WIPs. So that's that. And I'll probably move to a clip of me taking notes or something like that. I don't know. I've been looking back at my footage, and I look a lot less like I'm being held hostage. So I'm really proud of that. Also, I look really far away right now, and I have no idea. So I might zoom this in. Might not. We won't know. We'll see. But I will talk to you later, and I will give you an update at the end of the evening. Alright, so it is 6:28 p.m. I finished my tutoring, had dinner, took out the trash, did a whole bunch of that other stuff. I need to send off the invoice, but I did want to go over my WIPs that I want to do tonight, giving myself till 11 to do some of these WIPs, and then working on, and then I wanted to show you my eye collection, because I told you I was going to show it to you in the last video and I didn't. So I'm going to give you a tour. So everybody knows my friend, well, if you follow me on Instagram and you've seen any of my crochet products, I'm obsessed with sinker eyes. I love them. Also, PSA, if you don't sink your eyes, I literally die inside every time I see the eye sitting on the surface of the plushie.
It breaks me. Anyway.
That's neither here nor there. But I have an obsession with sinker eyes. And one of my favorite safety eye creators is Claire from the ADHD Hobbyist. And okay, we know I have an obsession, but I also have ADHD. So one of the things that I've learned in organizing my life is that things must be where I can see them. So as we go through, like as I was buying them, I would buy duplicates of things that I didn't need because I couldn't see them. And so I was talking with Claire in a conversation, because we're friends, and I was like, oh my god, I can't figure out how do I put them somewhere where I can see them, but like then I can also, like when I'm thinking about making a project, I can take out my eyes, I can look at them, and then I can decide what size I need and then what color I need, and knowing what colors I can choose based on the eyes that I have in my palette. So Claire had the beautifully smart idea she asked, what about a ring holder, like for jewelry? And so I went to Joann, RIP, and I got a ring holder, and this is how I store my safety eyes. So I'll put it a little closer so you can see it. So these are all my safety eyes, and what I did is they come in little baggies, so I put the label that goes with the eye above the eye, and it also tells the size, and then I have a little pack with the backings in it so I can compare. So now when I work on a project, let's say I need mustard and I'm trying to see if that would look good, I can easily figure out if it'll look good. And I know for a lot of my projects that I use Parfait Chunky or Ice Yarn, whatever one that is, I don't want to pull out the label in the middle, but with this size yarn I typically use 20 millimeters. So then I can go in here and be like, okay, well I have 20 millimeter iris and that has like a pinkish green, and how does that look? And I can pull one eye from each of these pairs and then put it in the yarn and like look at what colors look really good with those pairs. So anyway, this is my pride and joy. You can see there's gaps, which they'll be in the WIPs. Azure I just used.
Azure?
I don't know how to say it. Green Shift I just used. And then this one was automatically blank. I'll probably use a couple more by next week, so it'll fill itself in. And then I ordered some eyes from my friend Shauna, so I'm really excited when those come in. But I'm obsessed with the ADHD Hobbyist eyes. I can give you a full eye tour. I'll just keep it close so you can see it. And then I will have her, I'll probably try a QR code this time. Put it here. And then I'll have it linked in the description if you want to shop her eyes. I don't know what she has up or when her next update is up, but if you follow me on Instagram, you can probably know when things are coming. So, yeah. This is my sacred eye collection. And the point of this video was to talk about the WIPs that I need to get done. So, that being said, I have been working on a pattern for the last couple months, and my friends who know me well know that I like to work on a pattern, I get discouraged, or I get bored, and then that pattern disappears. And so I wrote this pattern and finished it on my birthday, and that is my Black Panther. His name is Tao. And so I made the panther, and then I was trying to make sure that the body worked up, but I don't like making the same thing over and over again, so I made it a little different. However, past Mariah wrote down the body but not the head, so I was trying to recreate the head to go onto the body. Alright, so another thing, these are evergreen eyes, and this yarn is a Posh dupe I got off of AliExpress. But, you know, with all the tariffs, you're probably not going to be able to get it for as cheap, or they're not even sending stuff to the US anymore. So that's probably a yarn that I will not be able to use unless I get like a Parfait Chunky in the glitz. But that is this guy. This one is done. And so then I've always, like, I love puns, and I have been talking about making a dandelion for a long time. So I was like, oh, that would be really cute to make this a lion. And then I had the colors for a dandelion at the time, but I didn't have the colors for a lion at the time. Like the fur for the head. So I made a dandelion. He has a little puffy tail. He kind of looked like corn, so I made a little video on Instagram. I don't know if I'll link it or show it here, but he kind of looks like corn until he got his hair. But the head is too big, so I just kind of zhuzhed it up and made it look okay. But this is my little dandelion. His name is Diallo. I love him. So then I was like, okay, I've got the dynamics of the body down. I need to figure out the head. So while I was house sitting at my sister's house, I was like, oh, I can do this, and then I can create it and with the maker yarn so we can be able to see my stitches. I can take pictures for my pattern. However, the head came out weird and the body came out looking weird when I used this yarn. So then I had to go back to the drawing board, because if you look at it, it's like lumpy and lopsided, but all of the things in the pattern are symmetrical. But if I make it with a worsted weight yarn and it comes out looking weird, then there's something wrong with the pattern. So I had to go back to the drawing board. I finally got a head that I liked. I refused to sew this together because I spent all of this time and energy making this, and it's kind of low-key hideous. So I refuse to put this together. Also, when people ask, oh, how is every project that you come up with so good? It's not. I just don't post about the ones I don't like. So, in full transparency, hideous rendition of this pattern that I was trying to make. Finally wrote down the head pattern that I liked, and I got this one. But going from that drawing board, I had to get a new head pattern and a completely new body pattern. So, trying to undo what is all tangled up. Alright, so I got a new head pattern, and that's this one. I still haven't done the details on the nose. This is the color... This is the color Cotton Candy. If you look at the eyes. Looks really good with this yarn. These are 20 millimeters. I need to make another head because I made the body and I did a different joining method and it came out really, really cute. But I didn't like how close the legs are. They're like cute. I like it, but I liked a little bit more of a gap between the front and back legs. This one is a no-sew body. This one you had to sew parts together and then work up. This one is without that whole dynamic. So then I decided that I needed to make a body that I can test this head on to see if it works with the other one. So I made a body with more of a gap. However, I used a technique at the bottom that makes it look weird. It won't look like this in the next one, but I did like a little bit more of a gap. It gives it, it's cartoony, but not too cartoony. I am more of a realistic kind of person, so just having that dynamic look a little bit more uniform with that spacing, I liked it. And then it looks really good with the head too. And so now this is the final panther, but now I have to make it, work it up in the correct body things to adjust. I want this to be a little bit more gradual here than here, and like adjusting all the right things at the back and all the right things at the bottom, but with this gap. Right, so today I want to fix this nose piece and possibly make another head and then use some eyes to like put the other head together. But I also got picked for a pattern test by the Squishy Witch. Let me see if I can put these ears on real quick. give you the full cuteness that is this pattern. I need to sew this up again because I ran out of yarn, and then the stitching kind of left holes because it was breaking, because when you're working with chenille yarn, it does what it does. I also weighted this plushie because I kind of wanted it to be weighted, so that's a little cute thing that's going on with it. But this is the little dragon. Let me tilt the head down a little bit. I need to go back, sew that stuff on. I need to add the ears on and add the tail. And then I need to make the wings and the horns. I didn't have the stuff for the horns or the wings at my sister's house, so I couldn't make them. So my priority is to finish this little guy today, at least so that I can have it done for the pattern test. And then I was not in a good mood the other day. A lot of bad things were happening. And oh, I didn't talk about the eyes. These are green shift. No. Yeah, this is green shift. It shifts between blue and green from the ADHD Hobbyist. And then I used my Panther pattern, and I know I'm going to stick with this head because it's the perfect size, but I made a white tiger. And so it has the fuzzies on the head, the dynamic, and then it has like a little bit of the stripe being there. This is going to take a lot more time for me to work up the body, but I did want to secure the ears onto the make. At least get that part done tonight. And then the body is just going to be a whole different beast that I have to work on. But securing this down for at least for today. Details of the face, the horns, and everything for this one. I was working on a smaller version of this one, so hopefully I can get a lot of the pieces done today and tomorrow, but I'm working on at least one so that when it comes to, it's due, I want to say it's due on Saturday, but I want to at least have one of them finished. They work up really, really fast, so this one is just taking me longer because it's so small. I'm using Petite Pearl and a 2.25 because I wanted it to be small, and I wanted to give it a little basket because it's going to be fall themed, so it's going to have little embroidered leaves on it. So I'm going to add little leaves and stuff like that, and like maybe like a leaf crown. And then in the little basket it's going to have a baby dragon that's acorn themed because it's a fall dragon. And it's using the color Harvest from Premier Parfait Chunky. So that'll be fun. Anyway, priority is to at least sew on the parts, the horns and everything here, and get the wings on and tail. And then I'll decide if I'm going to do the smog mod, which is the eyebrows, and then the what is it called? There's going to be like a okay, alright, there's gonna be like a bumps down the back. I'll figure out the word later, I'll put on the screen, but it's gonna go down to its tail, which I have the tail, I just haven't sewn it on yet. So putting all of this together and then having its little wings and cleaning things up and just like adding the details, that's the part of the plushies that I like doing it, but I was just so behind on a lot of stuff. So those details are the things I'm going to get done. And then we'll see where I get done at the end of my crochet makes. And then I'll try and check in before I go to bed. If not, I'll check it in the morning and then close out this video. But it has been a very successful WIP Wednesday. I was able to get a lot of running around done. I went to the Joann here. You'll probably have seen clips of that already. I went to the Joann in a different city. I checked Michael's. I got HTV that I needed. I got, I cooked dinner. I got the light bulbs that I needed. I got I went to the big Joann, a city over, and they had Baby Bear in white, and so I was like, I might go back tomorrow because one of my friends was like, I really want some more, I want some of that color, so I'm gonna go back and possibly get like a bunch of it, and then hope that they've unpacked some more. And then on Saturday I can go to, on Friday morning I can go and check the Joann there, where I work, and then on the way back check it again because they're slowly unboxing things, and then hopefully, depending on what time I get done on Saturday, pop by the one furthest but closest to me again, because Sunday I drive home, and so I'll just hit up all the spots, and then I'll be back at my home Joann and be able to check that out too. So that'll be pretty fun to look at. I think that's it. We'll see how many crochet projects I get to finish up tonight. I think it should be pretty good. I have been crocheting a lot, so my hand hurts a little bit, but it's mostly from crocheting with anything other than parfait. So I'm going to probably focus on parfait tonight, and then leave some of the smaller stuff for another day. So anyway, that's my update. I'll probably keep watching some YouTube videos and decompressing, and then I'll try and give you an update and then close out the video. So alright, I wanted to give a little bit of an update. Don't really know what's going on. I just started feeling really sad, and I am going to call it for the evening. I don't really like seeing myself on camera right now, and that isn't going to help to keep doing it. So, this is a tiger. This is the panther face that I finished. I sewed on the ears and the tail for my little pouchy dragon. This is something I need to finish tomorrow. I'm trying to decide. The face is all turned because I was sewing. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to make this a smog mod, or if I'm going to keep it as the regular dragon. And then if I do make it, I want to see if I'm going to pair it with like a more terracotta color, or if I'm going to be trying to pair it with like a chocolate, or like a cream horns. It all depends on the vibe I'm going for, but at this point it's not healthy for me to keep recording. I think I burnt myself out, and now I'm just feeling a lot of really strong emotions all at once. So I'm gonna cut off the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed my WIP Wednesday, and what is the normal thing? Like, comment, subscribe if you guys want to. If not, I hope you enjoyed all of my makes. Maybe I'll add a clip in for tomorrow when I'm editing it and putting all these together. But this is the dragon so far. Again, go check out the ADHD Hobbyists and these eyes. These are evergreen. This is cotton candy on the top, and this is azure on the bottom.